Our inspiration was initially Elon Musk was doing with SpaceX and the rockets and the Mars missions. That coupled with the subduction zone earthquake talk, and we decided that we needed to pick up Portland and move it to Mars. So that was basically the thought process as we began discussing that. What were some of the quintessential Portland things?
And Yetis. We like Yetis.
Like the convention center spires. We're going to have a food cart pod. The large building that's sectioned is the coin tower. And we decided on the coin tower because it already looks like a rocket ship. Little jets on the bottom, which we're going to make, and then you ladies would cover them up with something.
Perfect.
We'll do all of this structurally. We didn't go into computer until last week, so everything's been done by hand.
So basically what we did was we built a 3D model in the computer of what conceptually we want to start doing and making. We need kind of a template to work from to build something in table scale, which is a little smaller than what we're used to doing.
This is the first year that we've done anything on this scale, and I've never worked with an architect team. I mean, I deal with cakes, which there are some structural integrity you have to worry about, but nothing quite so large.
And it was bakers that figured out, okay, how can we actually build this thing?
So we can do gingerbread like on the outside.
Yeah,
and
it'll
then
be up a little bit.
Candies we'll put where the seams are and stuff. I think that's where, like...
Exactly.
It's been great. There's been a lot of back and forth, ideas flowing.
I think we definitely got a good group of bakers, steampunk bakers.
What did their voicemail say when you
Keep Portland tiered. We said, here's our vision. And they went, we can do that actually. We struggled with whether to make it real, but then we erred on the side of whimsy.
On it,
like a Yeti, like
little sharp.
Oh, we were like, let's just have fun with it.
Okay, I need Beyonce, please.
Beyonce! They're on Mars and they're outside, which we know the oxygen levels are not the same. With the whole Yeti thing, that did kind of open us up to not being so sciencey. When we got all together as a group, last time at the pub, we decided like what scale they needed to be, and that kind of determined some of the scale of the rest of the stuff.
When we had our last meeting together, it was, okay, I can make things about this size. I have to have room to work. So I'll take you over to the Yetis first. Just some that we've done already. They have so much personality. I'm having fun with that. The idea is to hide the one with the Santa hat somewhere in there, find the Yeti with the Santa hat. I mean, it's also geared towards kids, so you have to have some fun elements.
And so once we build the topography of the land, we're going to cover it with like gingerbread crumbs and stuff like that. So it'll look very Martian. Interior structure can be whatever it needs to be, and then everything else has to be edible. We're cutting out different pieces of cardboard to build up the land so that it looks more like Mars.
It was funny at our last meeting, just the different terminology we're using. We're coming from different spots, and I'm like, topo, okay, that's a new one. I don't have that in my verbiage. You know, I'm talking about fondant. We have a gingerbread recipe that we use for just normal gingerbread cookies, but it's a lot softer, and we needed something that dried out, would be a little bit more structural. It's not gonna taste as great, but I found a recipe and kind of tweaked it a little bit, that once you bake it, it's hard and very set. And it doesn't puff up because it doesn't have any leavening in it. So I think it's going to work a lot better than our delicious gingerbread recipe. You have this other one that, you know, looks like gingerbread and will smell like it to some degree.
Our standing desks came in this packaging, so we felt it awesome that we would save this and use it for the model. It's super, super, super strong. We have to cut all the pieces by hand. So we'll see how far we get. Right behind us, they're plotting it. It's basically our pattern. We'll plot it and then we'll kind of figure out our plan of attack. We still have another round with the bakers to develop more detail.
Once we get all the information back from the architect, we'll have like blueprints and we'll make specific pieces and then piece them all together after they bake and everything like that. There's a couple things that I'm not quite sure yet how we're going to work with, but we're going to figure it out. So.
It's pretty much been after work. Our domes. Basically, it looks like glass, but it's like a sugar product.
Yetis! So many were...
Oh my God, you have more!
Oh yeah. Everybody worked on them. It wasn't just one person, you know, architects and bakers, we all came together and made some Yetis.
There's 2 marketing folks, and then the rest are architects, designers. There's 7. Today's build day.
and we seem to have been working well together, which has been awesome.
We are pretty much gonna be working the hardest on Friday. We're in good shape today as long as we can get the spires tackled. Not an exact science. So we made a pattern and we just kind of, had to build all of them and label them, and then we started gluing them together. Although I have to say the hot glue makes the margin of error a little intense, but it's coming together eventually. So there was one gingerbread piece on the back that just did not want to stick.
It was either the cardboard wasn't quite flat, or the gingerbread wasn't quite flat, so it wasn't adhering.
The glue that was working the best was the glue that we had the least amount. Said glue was purchased at a store that's closed today. So I went and got 4 different kinds of glue. Crisis averted. It's sticking. If we come in Friday and it's still there, that's a success. Because on the structural and the design side, that was more our bag. So now we're just gonna be like, what do you want us to do? And we have a bunch of candy, bags and bags of bags. So we'll have bling, as it were.
Yeah, we're going to be filling in all the gaps and putting decorations. We're going to be putting windows where all the seams are, and then the towers, which are going to be covered in gelatin sheets. Once it gets together, I'll have a better idea of how we're going to finish it all off. I think we're in a pretty good spot because most everything else is the decorating part. There's a lot to decorate.
That's the biggest concern, is seeing if we can get it done in the time allotted.
It's been a lot of fun. It's been an experience, that's for sure. We had a great team, and it all came together, and everybody pitched in and did a little bit of everything. So
it actually went pretty smoothly.
Just not having done it before, I didn't know how long things were going to take. We wanted to make sure we had enough time to do all the detail work. It all came down today. That was the trickiest part, not knowing how much we were going to need, what we were going to need, all of the details. I'm happy how everything came together, and I think we have all of the elements we talked about that we could find room to fit in there and a few extras.
It came out pretty much like we wanted it to. It was kind of our vision.
I really love the Yetis. I can't say that enough.
I think Mustache Yeti might be my favorite. And Spaghetti Yeti's pretty cool too.
We had such a great team of architects to work with. We all meshed well. We all had great ideas that we just fed off of each other. That was part of the joy of creating it, was that we all worked well together and had great ideas.